केतन जी, सचिन जी, आप दोनों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत आईपीओ सेंट्रल के शो पे। और आपको हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं इस आईपीओ के लिए। वी यूजुअली स्टार्ट विद कंपनीज बिजनेस बैकग्राउंड, व्हाट द कंपनी डज, और मेरे ख्याल से आपसे बेहतर इसको और कोई नहीं बता सकता है। सो ऑल योर्स।
So thank you so much, Anil ji, for having us on IPO Central.
थैंक यू।
ये company Augmont Enterprises Limited. I'll give you a background. This is India's completely integrated gold and silver platform. This has been rated and as India's #1 gold platform by the IGC Excellence Awards. What is Augmont exactly? So Augmont actually operates two platforms. One is the spot platform and one is the gold for all platform. The Augmont Spot platform is essentially a platform where you have all the jewelers procuring their physical gold and silver requirement. We have 5,223 jewelers across India. These include national chains, regional chains, even small jewelers across smaller towns also who get their physical gold and silver requirement fulfilled through the platform. Why was this platform started? Basically, what used to happen, so I've been in this business for 23 years. The markets were always fragmented. Everything used to happen on the phone. For one transaction, there used to be 10 calls, and then the 11th call would convert into a transaction. So very inefficient market, very fragmented market. Scalable nahi tha market, plus prices were not transparent, prices were not live. So brokers used to give different pricing to the jewelers and default a lot. So that's when we realized that there should be a platform for jewelers where they can see the live prices and procure their gold. So essentially what has Augmont done is with the spot platform is solve this. So the company was incorporated in 2012 with the idea of solving gold-related problems using technology. In fact, in the past, if you go to see the futures exchanges also tried the spot exchange related to physical gold, but physical gold on an exchange platform where the matching engine matches the buyer and seller is slightly complicated, and that's the reason why there was no liquidity if you go to see, and that's why we realized that a platform is needed. The difference between the spot platform and an exchange platform is that their technology uses a matching engine. Here, the counterparty to every transaction is Augmont. So whenever we are selling to the jewelers, we are the counterparty, and whenever we are buying from the suppliers or the market, Augmont is the counterparty. And hence all the revenues get booked in the company itself. It's not a throughput platform. So that is the Augmont Spot business. Besides that, we have the retail platform. In the retail platform, we call it the Gold for All. Again, the idea is to complete the entire life cycle of gold. Customers should be able to manage the entire life cycle of their gold or anything related to gold through this platform. It's an omni-channel platform where we have our own applications. We have integration with third-party applications. So we have around 218 fintech partners where we have integrated. We have partners where we have touch points. So we have 4,691 touch points where some of the products get fulfilled. These also include 106 of our own Gold for All stores. So the idea is that the customer should be able to do investments in gold. The customer should be able to leverage on gold, and the customer should be able to monetize their existing gold using Augmont's Gold for All platform. So this is basically the business of Augmont, and on the Gold for All platform, we have 4.9 crore retail customers registered on the platform. And as I said, we have these touch points and fintech partnerships.
Great, wonderful. So when you say retail customers, you have the actual retail customers. You are not referring to fintechs, who are in turn catering to retail investors.
4.9 crore customers are retail individual customers who are buying.
Yeah. And okay, so how do you manage the deliveries and all? Is it your the ball is in your court then?
Yeah. So in the spot platform, what happens is we have delivery centers. There are 20 delivery centers across 13 states. How it works is that on the spot platform, whenever the jewelers register themselves, they do their KYC. After that, they have to put a margin money, which is anywhere between 2 to 5%. And after that, they place the order. So once the system receives the order back to back, it identifies the cheapest source of procurement also. and back to back that order is booked. Now we have various procurement sources, whether it's the IBX in the GIFT City, whether we have banks, whether we have competing refineries, we have our own refinery, we have the market participants, or even the scrap market. So whichever source turns out to be the best and the most efficient, the systems are matched accordingly. This is how it happens, and after that we take the delivery obviously from the supplier. Everything is done through security agencies. The security agencies then transport the gold or silver bars to the delivery center. We have already in advance informed the jewelers to be present at a particular time at the delivery center, where they then pick up the delivery. So typically the delivery centers are in the market because that's where the jewelry segments are. And before they take the delivery, however, the full payment has to be made by them. So there is no credit limit given to any jewelers.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
in the retail side, the delivery happens through secured logistics, where we have courier partners, and we also deliver to the touch points where the delivery then further happens to these customers.
Okay. All right. Uh, so there is no jewelry aspect involved in this. This is pure gold in its purest form.
So when you consider the entire life cycle of gold, Anil bhai, you know, gold in its initial form is in the form of a raw gold or dore bar. It gets refined into pure bars. The next step is where the bars and coins get sold. Coins usually get converted into jewelry. Jewelry then comes back for recycling if it's
Mhm.
sold, or it goes for loan against gold. Again, there, if it's auction, it comes back for recycling. And the third is monetization, where customers monetize under the government scheme or private schemes, and it comes back for recycling. So this is the entire life cycle of gold. We are not a jewelry company, but we
Mhm.
have a couple of products related to jewelry. So one of the very interesting product that we have is called the EMI jewelry product. Now, this product is actually for the bottom of the pyramid customers. Now, what happens is these are the customers who are too overwhelmed to enter a jewelry store.
Mhm.
उनको बड़े बड़े ज्वेलरी शोरूम में जाना थोड़ा अजीब लगता है. उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट छोटी छोटी होती है, जैसे 1 ग्राम पेंडेंट है, 2 ग्राम चेन्स है, 4 ग्राम चेन्स है. तो उसका हम लोग क्या करते हैं, एक सैंपल पीस एलॉय के फॉर्म में हम लोग हमारे टच पॉइंट्स पे रखते हैं.
Okay.
उस टच पॉइंट्स पे जब ज्वेलर आता है, वो पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट देखता है, वो सिलेक्ट करता है और प्राइस भी तभी फिक्स कर लेता है. उसके बाद वो छोटा सा डाउन पेमेंट देते हैं, तो प्राइस
Mhm.
फिक्सिंग वगैरह हो जाता है. एंड धीरे धीरे 3, 6 और 9 मंथ्स का जो टेन्योर उन्होंने चूज किया, उसके बाद वो पेमेंट करके उसके बाद वो डिलीवरी लेते हैं. तो इसमें क्या है, हम लोग को कोई इन्वेंट्री रखने की जरूरत नहीं होती है. एंड एट द सेम टाइम ये कोई फाइनेंस प्रोडक्ट नहीं है, फॉरवर्ड बुकिंग प्रोडक्ट है. तो कस्टमर प्राइस बुक कर लेता है और धीरे धीरे पे
Mhm.
करके फिर डिलीवरी ले लेता है. तो ये है इन्वेस्टेबल ज्वेलरी या ईएमआई ज्वेलरी जिसको बोल सकते हैं.
या और ये बेसिक ज्वेलरी होती है, प्लेन बेसिक ज्वेलरी, कोई ऐसी डिजाइनर स्टडीड ज्वेलरी
Mhm.
जैसी नहीं.
और इसका
Right.
बेनिफिट ये है कि ये बॉटम ऑफ द पिरामिड कस्टमर्स को कॉइन लेके कोई फायदा नहीं है, वो लोग यूज नहीं कर सकते. ज्वेलरी वो लोग यूज कर सकते हैं और प्लेज कर सकते हैं.
Mhm. Right. तो आपके लिस्टेड पीयर्स कौन है इस स्पेस में?
तो हमने हमारे डीआरएचपी में भी कोई लिस्टेड पेयर डायरेक्टली डाला नहीं है. ग्लोबली ऑल्सो हमने सर्च किया. बेसिकली अगर आप देखेंगे तो देयर आर एक्सचेंजेस होते हैं, देयर आर ज्वेलरी कंपनीज इन द गोल्ड मार्केट, बट हमारे जैसी कंपनी स्पेसिफिकली कोई है नहीं. सो वी कुड नॉट रियली फाइंड अ लिस्टेड पेयर इन दिस स्पेस. एंड I'm sure you would have also seen, but हम लोग को it's very unique business proposition, which is a platform business for enabling the
Mhm.
entire life cycle of gold. So yes, this is a unique proposition जिसका कोई listed peer नहीं है.
Exactly my
As
point.
far
Now,
as per our DRHP, yeah.
या वही मैं देख रहा था, आरएचपी में आपने कोई पीयर मेंशन नहीं किया है वहाँ पे. एंड मुझे भी ऐसा याद नहीं आ रहा है कि कोई कंपनी ऐसी आई हो जो कि एक प्लेटफॉर्म बिजनेस भी है, रिटेल बिजनेस भी कर रही है in gold. And so which brings me to this question, which I was going to ask in the end, but let's go with the flow. How should we as investors value your company?
I'll tell you what, you are the investors and you are the best people to judge. We are the management, we are the best at doing business. We'll continue to do what we are good at doing business. अगर वैल्यूएशन वगैरह का आप बात करें या कुछ भी करें, तो you know this is something that the bankers do, this is something that the industry does, this is something that the street will decide.
I mean,
Uh,
valuation not in a specific number based valuation thing, but this is in a broader sense. Like, if you tell us that this is my listed peer, they also do something similar to what we are doing. राइट, इट बिकम्स इजी फॉर रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स, उनको समझ में आता है कि अच्छा ये वो है, तो एक पिक्चर आती है दिमाग में। अभी आप कहते हो ना कि हमारे जैसा कोई दूसरा प्लेयर है नहीं, तो और वाकई में नहीं है, विच इज करेक्ट। तो वो एक ऐसी कोई पिक्चर नहीं आती है दिमाग में, अच्छा इसको वैल्यू कैसे करें, इसका सिर पैर कहाँ से पकड़ें, क्या होगा इसमें। सो वो उसके बारे में कह रहा हूँ मैं। सो मे बी इन द
तो
सेम ऑन द सेम लाइंस इन सम अदर इंडस्ट्री, ऐसा कुछ आपने देखा है कोई पैरेलल?
So, Sachin wants to just tell you about some numbers so that after.
so what we can do is we can make you understand this business better by providing you some numbers about how this profitability is coming out to be.
हम्म,
So though in terms of revenue हमने 94,000 crore का revenue किया, लेकिन नेट रेवेन्यू बेसिस पे देखें जहाँ पे हम कॉस्ट ऑफ
वो वही
कॉग्स
बहुत
निकाल
बड़ा
दें,
अमाउंट है, 94,000
इससे
करोड़।
एग्जैक्टली, बट अगर आप कॉग्स निकाल दें वैल्यू ऑफ गोल्ड एंड सिल्वर, तो जो स्प्रेड है वो नेट रेवेन्यू हमने 580 करोड़ करा है.
ओके।
From that 580 crores, EBITDA that we have currently is 66% of the net revenue. And PAT, जो 348 crores है, वो 59.98% of the net revenue है. So our business, if you want to understand, is more of spreads, buy और sell के spreads जो मिल रहे हैं, और उसके ऊपर हम क्या निकाल पा रहे हैं.
राइट,
Also,
दैट्स योर
one more
टेक
thing.
रेट।
Yes. Also, one more thing we would like to add here is that हमारा वर्किंग कैपिटल साइकिल जो है वो 1.76 डेज है, बिकॉज ये फास्ट पेस्ड वेलोसिटी वाला बिजनेस है. तो
राइट।
स्प्रेड्स लोअर होते हैं, लेकिन कैपिटल एफिशिएंसी या रोटेशन ऑफ कैपिटल इज वेरी हाई. तो हमारा आरओई आप देखोगे तो 51% है, हमारा रोसी आप देखोगे तो 40% है. सो
राइट।
ये एक एंगल है बिजनेस को समझने के लिए.
करेक्ट, करेक्ट, perfect. So going forward, if we talk about the business, so you are catering both to B2B side, which is your spot platform, and Gold for All, which is the retail platform. ग्रोथ आपको ज्यादा मेरे ख्याल से इसमें गोल्ड फॉर ऑल जो आपका डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म है फॉर रिटेल इन्वेस्टर्स, रिटेल बायर्स, वहीं ज्यादा ग्रोथ आपको नजर आती है, या अभी कुछ ऐसा भी है कि B2B साइड में भी काफी चीजें अभी आउटस्टैंडिंग है जो कि आप टैप कर सकते हैं?
So I'll just give you a perspective on the basis of our strategies that we have listed out in the RHP. हम लोग ये जो फंड रेज कर रहे हैं उसका रीजन ये है कि आउट ऑफ द 620 crores, 485 crores is going to be used in the working capital. As Sachin said, that we have a very short working capital cycle for which we need capital. Our strategy is that on the spot platform, we have 5,223 jewelers and 20 delivery centers. But we have not increased our delivery centers lately because of the fact that we are not able to cater to more jewelers with a limited capital. The idea is to increase the delivery centers, and the idea is to onboard more jewelers. We don't want a situation where we have more delivery centers and jewelers, but we are not able to cater to them. So that is the reason why we needed capital. The other is on the Gold for All front. If you go to see, all our products are such that the customers are paying and then taking the delivery, or the customers are selling and then taking the money. So usme the requirement is that we want to continue what we've been doing in terms of partnerships. We have all these fintech partnerships, we have these touch points. So the idea is to keep continuing doing more partnerships and continue using technology for new products and processes. So that's the strategy. And this is what we have listed out in the RHP. The retail business as a percentage has grown of the overall revenues from 3% to 7%.
3% in 24 to about 7% in 26 of the overall revenue.
And even the PAT figure for the subsidiary which operates the Gold for All platform as a percentage of the consolidated PAT has grown over the last 3 years. So obviously we are concentrating on all these factors, and our strategies have been laid out in the RHP.
Okay, right. So one thing I found in the RHP, आपका एक दूसरा organization भी है, रिद्धि सिद्धि बुलियंस. This happens to be a promoter group company, and it is both your largest customer. I think it accounted for something like 27% in FY26, as well as a top supplier. So how should we read it?
So, if you go to see, we have clearly detailed out as a risk factor that this is a related party transaction. We also mentioned, and all these transactions have happened at arm's length, approved by the audit committee and the board of directors. So, one of the factors or one of the reasons is that there are certain licenses that that particular company has in terms of exchange memberships and all, and there are certain products related to gold where it has to be routed through these members only, and that is the reason why there are certain products that can only be done through these licensed platforms. Having said that, we have Augmont Trading Limited now, which is a subsidiary where the MCX membership or the exchange membership has been taken. And the idea is that the business continues to happen more in the subsidiary, but it's it's slightly longer process, and that process is we are on the way to get there.
Okay. Right. And if you could share some more light about how things are going to be in future. What's the strategy regarding this company? Do you plan to take licenses of all the platforms under this company, or this current arrangement as well is going to continue?
No, so as I said, everything is there in Augmont. It's in terms of licenses for the refinery, with whether it's in terms of the accreditations that you require for the technology. Just that the membership of the exchange was missing, which we have taken in the subsidiary. This actually happened later in the journey of Augmont because there was a change in regulation which required an exchange membership, which was not required earlier, and that is the reason why we had to decide on taking up the membership later on.
Okay. And so, okay, going forward, then you will have all the licenses as well as memberships.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you will also have this Riddhi Siddhi Bullion running parallelly, which is again controlled by the same family.
So this is sorry.
Yeah.
You were saying something.
No, I was just saying. Please go
If you
ahead.
go to see, the related party transaction is related to what I explained to you because of the fact that the ETF creations happen only through the members, and that is the reason why the related party transaction happen. But otherwise everything is there in Augmont, and as I said, Augmont will continue to do this business. In fact, if you check in terms of references or anything in the industry, will realize it's only Augmont that does this business.
Okay, got it. Also, why IPO?
So what happens is
you could have gone for debt also, right?
Yes, but there is restriction as per the rules for this particular business. You're not allowed to borrow from banks or NBFCs both, and that is the challenge
that is an imposition that's a restriction imposed by RBI, as far as I understand. And this is not specific to you, but on the entire industry.
For the industry.
Okay. So that basically leaves players like you, the only available option is equity route.
Yes. So equity route is one. Whenever we have the international supply chains for our Dore imports and all, there can be financing provided by international banks there. And in our case, because of the platform business, we get customer advances also before we even delivery. So these are the 2-3 ways where a working capital requirement gets met.
All right. Okay. So excluding this, the top line of 94,000, the famed top line of 94,000 crore rupees, adjusting for that, I mean, considering only the take rate, then your figures, etc., everything starts making pretty good sense. So one question I have is around digital gold. There have been a lot of regulatory developments around it. And I think you also operate in this space, and you have these partnerships with fintechs, and many of those fintechs do this. So what kind of risk is there for your business in this?
So, the gold ETFs, the gold ETFs had started, and the gold ETFs, the problem for retail customers, because India is a physical consuming country, उसमें physical delivery नहीं है छोटे customers के लिए, like customers who want to redeem into delivery, right? And gold ETF के जो rates होते हैं, they are not the per gram gold rate, it's the share price rate or the NAV value of the AMC. we realized that problem that the customers did not have an avenue to buy gold on the live prices or on the go, and that is the reason why people had no choice but to go to a jeweler and buy a minimum coin of, like, say, for example, 1 gram or 5 gram or 10 gram. So the idea of digital gold is nothing but selling physical gold digitally, where customers are buying in small quantities. The invoice is generated and given to them immediately. The delivery happens to the custodian, which is their custodian overlooked by a trustee. And then the customers choose either to sell or take the delivery at their doorsteps. So the idea is that the customers are able to buy smaller quantities, and with the option, rather, whenever they want to take the delivery at their home, they can do that, or redeem into jewelry at partner stores. Like, we have various large jewelers who can redeem the digital gold holding. The regulation wise, if you go to see, it is not just about India, but globally also, there are no specific regulators for a physical commodity. Because if you regulate if gold has to be regulated, then all the jewelers, say, for example, come under the regulation. So there are specific aspects of the gold products which are regulated. Whether you talk about the regulations by Ministry of Consumer Affairs for hallmarking, or there is regulations by DGFT for imports and exports, whether it's the regulations which you require for the licenses related to refining. And then there are products which are regulated by SEBI, which come under the Securities Act, like ETFs and EGRs. So in parts, obviously, there are regulations related to gold. And for the digital gold, as far as that is concerned, all these large players have come together and formed the self-regulatory organization, where the mandate is that there is a particular kind of audit that will happen, a particular third-party audit.
There are third-party audits that have been undertaken for checking the physical custody of gold. And to your point, yes, there is no single regulators regulating the digital gold product. But as Ketan mentioned, various aspects of it are in a way kind of making sure that the customer interests are pretty much guarded.
So one of the products that SEBI is now notified is called the EGR, Electronic Gold Receipts, which is a combination of an ETF and a digital gold. So it has the regulations of an ETF and the delivery option of digital gold. It's there in the public domain that we've recently done a tie-up with NSE for the EGRs. So let's see.
Yeah, and that brings me to the next question. You primarily work as a platform, right? And you also alluded to the exchange traded gold products earlier. There was something around something in that domain that happened, and that didn't take off because of lack of liquidity. Going forward, कल को ऐसा भी हो सकता है, let's say NSC or BSC or कोई और exchange ऐसा हो जाए, so that will run parallel and almost competing with your platform, right?
So which product are you talking about for the lack of liquidity?
Spot exchange.
Okay, now
Spot
as far as
exchange,
yeah. So see, spot exchange did not take off because of lack of liquidity. In case of NSE and BSE EGRs that you're talking about, it is obviously a product which is taken care by, as in is notified by SEBI, both for the retail customers, and it can have participation from institutional customers also. But let me just put a perspective to the gold trading business globally. Globally, if you go to see, the largest markets are always OTC. In the largest market in the world is the London local market, which is an OTC platform, OTC market. Why an OTC on this particular segment works is because there are lots of requirements of the physical delivery taker or the giver, where a lot of flexibility is required. So globally, there, for example, there could be something related to transfer of ounces or the leasing of ounces or contract timings and the sizing, which is not standardized. And even in the Indian market, for example, say in the spot platform, when we're delivering to the jewelers have a lot more flexibility as compared to any standardized contracts. So yes, the competition is there in terms of the new products that you're talking about. But as only on the basis of what we can see is, say, for example, in terms of the transaction cost, in terms of the timeline delivery or the standardization of the contract, how the jewelers community adopt to it, we'll have to see.
Okay. And I think आपके business में सबसे important चीज ये है कि physical delivery होनी चाहिए. It can't be like a derivatives market on NSE, BSC, जहाँ पे सब कुछ derivatives में ही चल रहा है and there is no physical settlement that happens.
Pure physical.
Pure physical.
Okay. All right. I think I'm through with my questions. Thanks a lot for your patience and
Thank you
explaining
so
the
much,
business.
Anil bhai.